Hey YouTube, it's James here from the Wyvern Watch with another guest upload on Team Sorcerer's channel. So thank you very much guys once again. The last video I did was Gusto's, which was quite successful. I think quite a few people quite liked it, so I thought I'd do another one with my latest deck, which is Invoked Dogmatika. I'm not normally I'm not a meta player by any stretch, but it's the archetype itself attracted me to it. It's a spellcaster deck, which we always like. Really good artwork as usual. I generally only build a deck if I like the artwork. Some unique effects as well, and because it works so well with the Invoked engine as well, which I've always had in my binder but never had cause to use it, I thought we'd build this deck. So this is my take on it. It's fairly similar to most people's, I think, but there's a few tweaks on here, but let's get into it. So we'll start with obviously the main deck, and as you imagine with a Dogmatika deck, we run 3 Ecclesia. I don't think you can run a deck without this without this card being maxed out at 3. Most of them, she can't be destroyed by battle against an extra deck monster, and when normal or special summoned, it can be normal summoned or special summoned when there's an extra deck monster on the field. And when normal or special summoned, she adds a Dogmatika card from deck to hand. So she's the general searcher for the deck, but obviously it's nice being able to not use it as your main normal summon as well. Unusually, I also play just the one, Aid in the Enlightened. Again, most Dogmatika players won't be playing this, but I like to play it to its fullest extent. Again, I like the artwork, so I'll play as many of the Dogmatika cards as I can, or feel the need to. This one shares the same ability that can't be destroyed by battle against an extra deck monster. But this one, if destroyed, will then special summon 1 Dogmatika monster from the deck, so he floats basically. So not a bad option at all, but only the one of him. Next is the new one out of the latest set, Dogmatika Ashian, I think is how we pronounce it. Again, just the one of him. But if an extra deck monster is sent to the grave, we can special summon this guy from our hand. He also adds a Dogmatika card from graveyard to hand. And when attacked, all Dogmatika monsters can gain 500 attack, which is sort of the opposite to the Fleur-de-Lis, which is coming up next. Again, just the one of him. 2 Fleur-de-Lis. Probably the best artwork of the archetype, I would say. This one's, again, a must in any Dogmatika list. Quick effect, can special summon if there's an extra deck monster on the field. And if I control an additional Dogmatika monster, I can negate the effects of 1 monster on the field. It's another negation, of course, but one, given the second ability of gaining 500 attack for all Dogmatika monsters is really quite powerful. And also, quite controversially, 2 Maximus as well. Yes, I can see in the mirror match this might be a bit of a problem, but given the amount we're playing at the moment, I'm not coming up against an awful lot of Dogmatika, so Maximus still has a part to play. So with him, he can banish an extra deck monster from your graveyard to special summon from hand. So again, easy to get out. And then sends 2 extra deck monsters from the extra deck to the grave, obviously making your opponent do the same. It does lock you out of the extra deck for the rest of the turn though, so you need to be careful with that. But yes, again, I love the artwork, so he's in at 2. Again, I also play this card, which is Fallen of Albaz, which is not strictly a Dogmatika monster, of course, but works well in combination too, because it's easily searched via Nadir Servant. But again, not one that most people tend to play, but again, I like it. So when summoned can be used as fusion material along with you can pick your opponent's monsters. Obviously, we normally go for Titanclad, which would require a dark monster. So if your opponent's got a dark monster on the field, you can use it as material and instantly go fusion into Titanclad. Just the one of him. That's it for Dogmatika monsters, but of course, with it being Invoked engine, we also play 3 Alistar. You'll hopefully be very familiar with Alistar, but of course, when summoned, we'll grab a invocation from your deck. You can of course use it as a quick effect to make any fusion monster you control gain 1000 attack as well, which actually comes in pretty handy. Just the 4 hand traps that I run in this deck, so I'll just put them all out at the same time. But you've got the 1 Effect Veiler and 3 Ash Blossom. I'll just bring them in a little bit. I don't think these will be strangers to anybody, but you know, Ash Blossom as Ash Blossom, and Effect Veiler is a spellcaster. Again, works well with the theory. That's it for monsters then, and then into spells. As you'd expect, again with an Invoked package, you've got Magical Meltdown and Absolute Must in this strategy, and of course the Terraforming to go with it as well. So just to make sure that we get to that card as soon as possible, that of course searches your Alistar, which in turn searches your Invocation and obviously makes the whole engine work. Get those extra deck monsters on the field as soon as possible. Again, Dogmatika deck wouldn't be much without this card. Nadir Servant, I imagine it's still fairly expensive. I managed to get a deal on mine, thankfully. Yeah, this is the main search of the deck. Of course, it not only searches, but sends an extra deck monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, and enabling 1 or 2 of their effects as well. It does lock you out of the extra deck for the turn, so you need to be aware of that, but again, great card. And some of the staple stuff, some of which are still reasonably expensive. I'm still not 100% about this card, but Triple Tactics Talent, excuse me, obviously relying on your opponent activating monster effects in your turn, which predominantly would be a hand trap, of course, but I'm on the fence about it, but it's not a 3 of, in my opinion. I think very safe at 2. And the fact that I haven't got a 3rd probably also contributes towards that. But you know, if people are familiar with Triple Tactics now, draw 2, take control of your opponent's monster, or indeed look at your opponent's hand and spin 1 back to their deck. Part of Desires as well, quick search draw card. I only like to play 2 of these. I think 3 is just, you stand too many chances of drawing the second card as well. I see it often enough, so I'm happy with it too. Of course, with the Invoke package, you'll obviously need these as well. Invocation. Again, a lot of people run 3, but I'm happy with 2. You know, with this Alistar constantly searching it and then spinning it back to the deck, it's I never had an issue where I've run out of Invocation. Perhaps you'd probably side the 3rd. That's all I'd say. This one I really like. I haven't got a 3rd again, but this is Forbidden Droplet, which most people will be fairly familiar with now. But negating monster effects just by dropping either cards from hand or field. and it's obviously a quick effect, so we can do it anytime. It's just a great card. There's no reason why not to. If I had a third, I probably would run 3 in fairness. And probably would side this out to do so as well. So this is Harpy's Feather Duster. Everyone knows that it does. Currently in the main deck, but I think could quite happily live in this side deck. Call by the Grave down to 1. Obviously negating those hand traps. Also useful in lots of different scenarios though. So anything where it's targeting the graveyard, we can react to it. Happy with that. I suppose the other hand trap we play is, of course, Infinite Impermanence. You've got to love this card. I absolutely love everything about it. I think it's a great card, great looking card as well. Love the artwork. The fact you can activate it from hand on your opening turn. You can, you know, obviously negate the column as well, rather than just the monster effect. So, yeah, great card. Everyone knows what that does. This one is obviously also a fairly common appearance in Dogmatika decks, which is the Shadow Schism. Easily searchable by dropping Al Capone, what's his name, whatever it is. I'll get to it in a minute. To search it out, and then obviously you can spring this and summon Winder on the opponent's turn. And finally, the last 2 cards are 2 copies of Dogmatika Punishment. Again, fairly common in any Dogmatika deck. Some people run 1, I run 2. The downside, of course, to this card is it locks you out of your extra deck for another turn. So the turn you play it in and the turn after that as well. So it can be painful, but being able to just target and then obviously send from the extra deck as well, it's a very, very useful card. Thank you. I don't know what I was saying thank you for. Okay, so that's main deck, 40 cards in the extra deck. On to the extra deck then. Did I say main deck or extra deck then? Can't remember. But anyway, extra deck. As the aforementioned Titanclad. So predominantly it can be sent from the extra deck to the graveyard in order to search or special Albaz or any Dogmatika monster from the deck. On the occasion where we do summon it through Albaz, it gains attack basically to the levels of the material times 100. So a nice card, again. It's something that can be, depending on the card that you used to summon it from your opponent, can get quite high in attack power. Again, aforementioned Winder. Can't be destroyed by card effects, of course, and limits the special summon per turn to 1. And App Cologne is the one that, when sent to the graveyard, will search a Shadow trap or monster. Also, Construct is in there as well. Again, not something we use an awful lot, but you know, the fact it can destroy the monster before you go into the damage step, at the start of the damage step, is a useful thing. It will also search you back a Shadow trap from the grave as well. Fossil Warrior Skull Knights, one of the targets for sending directly to the graveyard, because from banishing it from the graveyard, you can target and destroy one face-up monster. 2 copies of Elder Entity Ints. Got the new premium gold rare, which I really like actually. I think it looks really well inside the double sleeve as well. Thank you to Kainan for that one. Thank you for one of them at least. So when sent directly to the grave, this monster, of course, will target any card on the field and destroy. And then we got the Invoked package. So Purgatrio, which can easily be summoned with the with an Ash Blossom or something like that. Well, I'll just show you them all. We've obviously got 2 Macabres and the Elysium as well. So these are the 5 I'm running at the moment. I'm not sure about the Elysium. I've not really made much use of it so far. But Macabre's the primary one, of course, negating normally either a monster effect or spell effect. Not very often I've got a trap card in my hand. So those are the invoked monsters I'm running. We've also got an Omega, just for spinning extra deck monsters back from the graveyard once it's in there. So if I need my Titan Clad back, I can do that. And obviously if I run out of Macabres, or this should old package actually. And then the only links I'm running, of course, are Almirage and Secure Gardener. Just part of the puzzle really for the combination of going on your first turn from Alistar into Macabre before the 5th summon, protecting yourself from Nibiru. Otherwise they wouldn't be in here. Maybe Almirage, but that combination's too good. And that is the deck, guys. So thank you very much for listening. Feel free to obviously comment and see if there's anything you would improve on this by. Bearing in mind what I've said, because I like having the extra Dogmatika options in there as well as the usual ones. But if you do see what something I'm missing out on, feel free to make a comment. But obviously, guys, the channel Team Sorceress needs the subscribers, and obviously if you like the content, feel free to please click that button and get subscribed. I'll probably post up another profile in the not too dim a distant future. Put a big like on here for me as well, please. But thank you very much indeed for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers, bye.